Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Gooner and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hi bro, how are you?
What's up, mate? I'm feeling great, man. International break is over. We got Arsenal on Saturday. We got Austin FC Saturday night for us. Um, Full speed ahead into like getting close to playoff time. And October, first of the month on Saturday, big month for the Arsenal. So great way to start, right? North London Derby. Let's go, man. Full speed ahead. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Starting with the North London Derby, as you're saying, really busy October. And yeah, right up until the international break for the World Cup now, it's going to be 2 games a week. It's busy, busy times, critical period. Let's hope we get off to that winning start against Tottenham. Doesn't get any bigger than that. Massive game. They've done well with their start of the season. Got to say, we're right up there, still undefeated in the Premier League. We've started so well. We're top of the league. We just had that one result, which we talked about a lot. We're really unfortunate in that one. Could have been 7 out of 7, but it is 6 out of 7. Great start.
You know,
Got to get that win now against Tottenham. Let's start with the team new situation. So international break, we're always worried what's going to happen. Players coming back, we'll be injured. We're fit. From what we're hearing, still early days, don't know the exact situation, but it's saying Thomas Partey should be back, Zinchenko as well, Tini, and Tommy Yasu. So they came back early from international duty due to some injuries, but seems like it was precautionary, and they should be ready for the North London derby. So hopefully that's going to be the case. Let's start with what would you go for as your lineup?
ooh, man, that's a good question. All right, so obviously we're gonna go with Ramsdale at goalkeeper, excuse me. I think in the middle we got to stick with what we've been, what's been working. We got Gabriel and Saliba. I'm thinking on the outside, like on left back. Now, Tierney was definitely maybe the most serious of all these precautionary injury updates, right? Like he had like a head injury, potential concussion. So, but I've seen pictures of him in training. I want us to maybe be a little bit more dangerous in attack. So maybe I'm leaning toward putting Zinchenko in there. He's had plenty of time to recover from whatever was ailing him before the international break. I like how he plays on defense, and he's a little bit more of the attacking threat from the back. So, and I kind of want us to approach it like let's just go and try and put two, three, four goals on these guys, right? Let's attack. Let's also, so I'm kind of leaning toward also just resting Tierney with that head injury. You never know with head injuries, right? Um, who knows how serious it is. But I mean, if he's good enough, maybe he can come off the bench and kind of help us seal the deal if we're ahead late in the game. So I think we'll go with Zinchenko at left back. And man, I want to see Tomiyasu get in there and get a full 90. Um, if Ben White is clear him and gets to start, I don't think that's bad. But I want to see Tomiyasu in there. I thought he did pretty well enough last year against Sun. And again, as I mentioned before, that guy's like he's one of those players like you don't necessarily have to think about when he's in there, right? It's just a really solid defender, knows his job, does it well, and he loves defending, right? I hope Thomas Partey is good to go, and if that's the case, put him in there. Let's go. We know with what works. Granit Xhaka, our box to box, all star midfielder, the man, the unofficial captain of our squad. Let's roll with him. And then um, Odegaard, our captain, our official captain. I want to see him in there. And then, per usual, we got Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus up top. So I think that's our most used lineup, excuse me. And I think we go with that. And then it looks like we're pretty solid in the bench, right? Well, report. I've seen pictures of Reese Nelson coming in and maybe starting to play. El Nenny's probably the only one that's really being held out. Fabio Vieira, nice to kind of see him. But we got five subs. Well, depending on how the game goes, we can definitely sub in a lot of players, especially if they are truly injured or are still kind of struggling with their fitness. So we got five forward. So I think something I also want to maybe worry, something else to worry about going into this game is Gabriel Jesus is on four yellow cards. So if he gets another one, he gets suspended a game. So hopefully, we can see Eddie and Kedia come in. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping against hope again that we bring it to these guys, score two, score three, put the game out of reach, and then rest Gabriel Jesus for a critical time, so we know he doesn't get a yellow card, and we can play him against Liverpool. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, Tottenham is a big match, but obviously, I want us to have as many weapons as possible going into the next game against Liverpool, and also for that, you know, what is it? Europa League. So a lot of games coming up. We're gonna have to do a lot of rotation anyway. So yeah, but that's my starting lineup, I think. What are you thinking? Do you agree, or is there anything you would go differently?
Yeah, I think that would be the lineup I go with. It's a tricky one with a right back. We know Ben White's coming done really well, but Tommy Yasu is the first choice, you would say, in that position. Don't know now actually, because it's been like quite a while that he's been back from injury, and Arteta's not put him in there ahead of Ben White yet. So maybe he's leaning towards Ben White as his first choice right back. It's difficult that one. We spoke about it before. It's not really Ben White's natural position. We feel that Tommy Yasu would be better positioned to be there. We saw attacking wise as well. Ben White is getting better, but Tommy Yasu is that proven right back. So I would go with what you're saying. I'd have Tommy Yasu in there ahead of Ben White. But then the change I would make is for me, I'd like to have Ben White alongside Saliba in our centre
Mhm.
defence. Like Gabriel's done well, great player. I think Ben White is the better centre defender. And my other argument about having a left-footed player on the left side of central defence, I don't think that's that important, especially with someone like Ben White. He's able to pass with both his feet. So I think he's the better option for me personally. I would have him alongside Saliba. Then left back as well. That's again tricky. We know how good Tini is. We've seen Zinchenko coming this season. He's been looking amazing. They have different attributes going forward. Zinchenko offers a lot more. You would say Ventini, but Ventini would say is more defensively solid. For me, I agree with you. I really want to attack them, so I'd go Zinchenko as well. I really want to be going at them and trying to get a lot of goals. So yeah, I mean, in the midfield, as you're saying, that kind of picks itself. If Thomas Partey's fit, he would be in there. Xhaka as well, Odegaard, and then the front three being on fire this season, they pick themselves. So yeah, let's hope. The main thing is that we don't know exactly the situation with the injuries, so how fit players are. Arteta's gonna have to see what the situation is. But if everyone is fit, I would go with that as my lineup. I mean, as you said, we've got some great options to bring off the bench, and it's good to have that. It's really important to have that squad depth. We've seen the likes of Fabio Vieira, Nketiah, Marquinhos as well. He's coming and done well. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be really interesting to see what Arteta goes with. Let's
Yeah,
talk a little bit now about Tottenham. So we spoke on last week's show when we're doing a little review of the season so far, and I was asking your thoughts on our rivals, and you were saying that they've had a good start, but you've watched some of their games. You don't feel they've been playing back well, but they've been getting the wins. So,
yeah,
what's your thoughts looking at this game now on them, the dangers they're going to pose us?
yeah. My biggest fear, like the biggest thing I think about when I think about how they can beat us, is kind of very similar how United beat us, right? Like on the counterattack, taking advantage of uh a lapse in concentration and then just devastating us with Kane or Son. You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's how they've been playing this whole time. Like, not necessarily the prettiest football. They just kind of sit back and absorb the attack. So it's a little frustrating, but I'm kind of hoping, maybe as you say, putting in someone like Ben White instead of Gabriel makes us a little bit more sure of ourselves on the defensive end, and that we're not going to be making an absolutely silly mistake that's going to cost us a goal, because that's what happened with United. That's what Gabriel has done a couple times, and as you say, not a huge criticism against him, but a team like Tottenham, the reason why they're so successful is not just necessarily because they're blowing away teams. It's just they're so disciplined, and they get and part of it is, yes, they're lucky, but I'm also of the belief, like, overall, that you got to make your own luck, and you got to be in a position to take advantage of the luck. And that's what they've been doing all season. So they're playing very disciplined football, boring, but albeit very disciplined. And yeah, I'm just really worried about that counterattack, and hopefully we could be very be clinical with our possession. I think one of the biggest maybe criticisms of our team, especially as of late, was, yeah, we're doing great with possession, we're doing great with passing the ball and attacking. We're just not clinical. We're not putting away the finishes. Odegaard's not shooting the damn ball when he's wide open. So I'm hoping Saka can be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, he's been aggressive, right? He's getting his assists, but just a little bit more sure of himself when it's time to take a shot. I've seen a couple of them, especially in the Brentford game. It's been overlooked. I mean, yeah, he had 2 assists, but he had a couple of shots that were just kind of sailed over the goal, and you could tell confidence. I think when it comes to being part of the team and sneaking and stealing the corner or getting the assist, like, he's sure of himself. But when it's time to attack, he's not clinical at all right now, and I think it just has to do with confidence. And so I'm kind of hoping, as a unit, as an attacking unit, we become, or a little bit more sure of ourselves when we attack. And I think that'll give us the best chance to win. Um, because, yeah, they're very dangerous on the counterattack, and they've got 2 world-class attackers at the peak right now. I mean, Son is looking good, and I think you got to feel good about South Korea's chances in the World Cup purely because of Son. And Harry Kane is sort of, I mean, he's going to be the all-time goal scorer for the Premier League. So yeah, these guys are deadly. You give them one shot and they're going to just put it away, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, man, I just hope we're very disciplined, as disciplined as a team like Tottenham is, but a little bit more exciting and attractive to watch. And yeah, it's gonna be I'm very stressed right now. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been really, like, looking into the lead up into the game and all that kind of stuff. I'm really nervous about this game, because this is gonna this is not make or break, but this is gonna really set the tone for the rest of the month and potentially the rest of the season. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, you don't want to put everything on one game, but this is an important one, man. It's the North London Derby, man. You don't want to lose or have a bad showing against Tottenham, because that's really gonna, like, dampen the mood and, like, the fan base and all that kind of stuff. And I like the feeling we're having right now. Everything is good. I mean, there's a little bit of worries here. We could play better, but we're top of the league, and the feeling that we had when we lost to United, I like it, man. And I kind of want the good times to keep going. Um, so yeah, man. I can't wait for it to come, but I'm also very scared. I don't like feeling like this.
It's always a game. Get nervous before it. Cannot be losing to him here. Let's hope that we really turn up. We've got a really good record with him at home.
Yeah,
So let's hope we can continue that. Your point about them being a counter-attacking team, I think that's really important that we do take that into consideration. Obviously, we want to go at them. It's here, our place. We want to be going, attacking, and trying to get many goals. But as you said, we've got to keep that discipline as well. And having Thomas Partey in there, that's going to help us a lot, because we know he does his role really well. I mean, he takes the pressure on Xhaka as well in terms of him having to get back. So I know Arteta's going to have his plans in place. We've seen he's getting better and better as a manager. I'm sure tactically he's going to have the players aware and set up that we've got to be wary of their counter attack, the pace they have in their team. They've added the likes of Carson as well. So he's another very dangerous player we've got to keep an eye on.
yeah.
But uh, man for man, I think we have got the better team than them, and I'm confident that we can get the result. So, what's your quick score prediction?
Well, before I even predict, a couple things to think about as you were talking. Remember last year, the first time that we played Tottenham at Emirates Stadium, I think we were in 13th and they were in 10th, and it was one of those games, right? Like kind of tips the scales on where both teams are headed. And Tottenham ended up firing their manager, hiring Conte, and they were able to bounce back. And we kind of that kind of catapulted us into our run and our surprise run. I still consider it a surprise run toward the top four. Where we were at third at some point. So, and now, fast forward almost a year and look at us. It's number one versus number two, and the winner gets to stay in first place, or we get to stay in first place if we win. Tottenham takes over first place if they end up winning. But just to imagine, I mean, I don't want to like say, oh, look how far Tottenham have come, but look how far we have come. It's been incredible, right? Like an incredible ride to see just the turnover and the change in attitude and I'm kind of hoping that we were able to draw again, kind of think about the pain that we felt or the pain that the players felt from that Crystal Palace loss late in the season, kind of turned it around and started the season strong. Kind of hoping they draw from that same pain that they felt losing the North London Derby last year, 3-1 or 3-0, I think it was, and turn it around and put on an amazing performance. So I'm thinking we're going to do that. And again, this is one of those feels like one of those seasons where we're putting a lot of ghosts to bed and a lot of the pain that we had to deal with for these past few months. I can only imagine the players are feeling the same way and they want to build upon that. And this is a young team. I feel like they're going to be ready again. Every single game that we play, we've been ready to play. So I have no doubt we're going to be ready this time around. Um, so I'm thinking it's going to be like a 3-2 game though, because I still think that Tottenham are just that dangerous, and they're actually way more clinical than we are. I think if we were as clinical as they have been, one could even argue, oh, Arsenal's been lucky as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be 3-2. It's going to be one of those back and forth classic North London derbies. Um, and I think we'll pull ahead at the end. And it's gonna be intense. So I'll say 3-2. I don't know who exactly is gonna score first, but I think it'll go back and forth. I think we'll respond well to their attacks. I think they're gonna get lucky a couple times. That's how the ball bounces and all that good stuff. So I'll say 3-2. It's gonna not be it's not gonna be an easy one for us. But so it goes, right?
Yes, I reckon going to be high scoring. The recent couple of games that we played against Tottenham with the ladies and the under 18s, we got 4 goals.
Yeah.
So 4-0 to the ladies and 4-1 to the under 18. So hoping the men's senior team can get 4 goals too.
Oh yeah.
With
I'll
them,
take it.
yeah, we get 4 goals, keep them down to maybe one, maximum two. So maybe 4-2. That'd be great. But yeah, it's gonna be one of them games that's gonna be end to end. We're gonna be going all at them. They're gonna like that style because they can, as you said, we've been talking about. They'll try and hit us on the counter attack. I can see them getting at least a goal. So I'm gonna go 4-1 for me. I
I'll
think
take 4-1, man. I'll take that all day.
worst case 4-2. But I want to keep that theme, like I say, with the ladies and under 18s getting 4 goals. Men's senior team can go get 4 goals too, hopefully. Just your point about like how far we've come, though. There's a post I was seeing on one of my friends, his page, Wenger's House. Shout out to him. Great
Oh
page.
yeah.
Check that out. Says if you haven't already. But yeah, the post he put up a few days ago was he was talking about our start to the 2021 season, and we'd only got 14 points out of 42, and it was just
Oh,
a terrible start and a terrible season in general, finishing up in eighth in the end. And he was talking about how far we've come from then. We talk about how far we've come from last season, but last season did go well in the end for us to get up to fifth, but when you look back at the year before finishing eighth and the year before that finishing eighth as well. But yeah, just read when I was reading his post, I was like, yeah, we have come a long way from them days, and it's just for teams completely different. We've got to give all credit to Arteta, to Edu. They've done a great job. We're in a much better place now than we were back then.
I remember that, yeah, and I think we ended up that was when we ended up beating Chelsea on Boxing Day. That kind of turned it around, right? It was a lucky again a 3-0 win. That was one of when Saka kind of it looked like he was doing a cross and it ended up going in the goal. Um, yeah, I mean, again, one can say, "Oh, you got lucky here and there," but you got to be in the position to take advantage of that luck. You know what I mean? So, yeah, now that you bring that up, I remember that season. That was a tough time, right? I think even Arteta was really close to probably losing his job, man. He would have, I mean, imagine if he got sacked then. Uh, but it's been nothing but a complete turnaround, and yeah, I mean, we're in first place. We're riding high. We're looking good. Um, we have this. It feels like there's always going to be complaints and there's always going to be issues that we worry about. It's never going to be like perfect, but the things we were worrying about now versus what we were worrying about back then, like I feel it's a much better position. Like here we are worrying about like, oh man, Thomas Partey's out. Who are we going to put in? And then we put Sambi Lokonga in there, and he does generally pretty well, but like it's not perfect, but it's still the phrase, the rising tide lifts all boats, and I think we've risen the standard, or we've raised the standard, excuse me, around here to where an injury here or there is not going to derail everything, kind of like it was back then, and um, knock on wood or whatever. But yeah, we're just in a much better position now to kind of rotate and there's you got to think the competition is just crazy intense in training, man, to where the point where anybody you got to have to be a superstar to be on the starting 11, and that just means whoever's out there has earned it, and the people who are upset or the people who are on the bench are all in at this point, and that might not have been a case back then. There's a recent Tomiyasu quote that said like, he was talking about losing his spot, and he was saying like, in the Premier League, you got to really be on your game all the time. And he goes, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at now, and I'm going to do my best to earn my spot back. That's just amazing, right? From a backup, I mean, from a guy who started as soon as he came in. I think we signed him on deadline day, and the game 2 days later, he almost scored a goal. Um, and then now he's at a position where he's basically fighting to get 15, 20 minutes in. The attitude that he has saying like, hey, this is the way it is. I'm not happy, but I'm going to fight my way on. And that only pushes Ben White to play how he's playing. So nobody wants to lose their spot. The egos are there in a positive manner. So yeah, man. I mean, I even forgot like the point you made, and I just kind of went off on it. But oh yeah, like how we were 2 years ago, right, finishing eighth. But yeah, we've raised the standard successfully, and now it's just time to start seeing it on the field. I think there's a lot of PTSD with a lot of our fan base, and we're almost just kind of waiting for the cards to drop and the top to fall off. And um, but also I think there needs to be a little bit more optimism, and I'm feeling that way. Like I don't whatever the result is, I know we're gonna show up and play hard, and nobody's gonna say, Arsenal bottled it today. You know, you can't say that about the United game. I mean, I know that's already in the past and move on from it, but just think about those. I mean, I was upset, but I also was not upset because the general consensus from neutral observers was like, "Hey, Arsenal didn't play like shit." Um, that's just how it goes. Sometimes you don't always get the results. So I'm excited again, and also very nervous, just because like I don't like I love rivalry games, but I also don't like them because it's just like I don't want the rival fans to be happy uh at all. So yeah, I don't yeah, I can't wait, man. I just want to get it over with. I'm glad that it's at 6:30 in the morning, our time, get it over before breakfast.
That's an early start there. Uh, let's hope the boys can do it.
Yeah.
Excited. Only a few days to go now. So before we move on to some of the other games coming up this weekend, just wanted to ask you about your September player of the month. So we didn't play that many games. You know, we had a couple of games called off, as we know, and it's hard, you know, or just the few games that we did play to judge a player of the month. But it was a good month still. I know we have a defeat to Man United. We talked about that a lot in the past already. It's unfortunate. You know, a little bit of lack of experience cost us there, but even that was a really good performance in general. And in the month overall, we've done well. If you look, won our Europa League game, we beat Brentford really well as well. That was an important win for us, you know, after that loss to Man United, to come back and win after what happened there last year as well. We got our revenge on them. So yeah, difficult as I say because it's a very small sample size. But who would you give your player of the month to?
I'm going to go um with the ultimate comeback kid and Granit Xhaka, man. I think he's played solid throughout. Um, that goal, that assist on the Gabriel Jesus goal was just absolutely incredible, man. Like I saved the video like on the replays. Like I've saved it and clipped it, and I'm gonna save it for the perfect time to like put it out there. Just and I look at it from time to time. But I think just the fact that he was able to get this is like off the field stuff, right? But the fact that he finally has a song. Um, he was given the captain's armband with Odegaard out, and you can see like the chemistry with him and the new guys like Gabriel Jesus when he did the celebration where after he passed it to Jesus, he did his little dance, but then he turned around and did the shoe shine celebration. Like, ooh, like that's an excellent assist, and he's just been the player that's benefited the most, I think, from all the change in tactics and from he's looked really good this month. So if I were to give it to somebody, I mean, it'd be hard, to kind of not give it to Gabriel Jesus also as well. Like he's been stellar. I'd even argue for William Saliba, right? But I think Granit Xhaka is sort of he's not showing up a ton in the stat sheet, but he's really, really become that box to box midfielder that I guess Arsene Wenger is the one that originally envisioned him in this role that he's doing now. Um, so I'd give it to him. Shout out to Granit Xhaka. I'm kind of leaning, because I just got the pink shirt in the mail like about long ago. Still waiting for that black shirt to come in, and I'm kind of considering getting Granit Xhaka's name on it. I don't have any. The last one I got was Aubameyang, and granted it was a little early or whatever to get it, but Granit Xhaka has come a long way, man. Since I've become a fan, he was one of the first players I knew that everybody kind of was 50-50 on. Like he was, you love him or hate him, and to kind of see the transformation in his standing with the club has been amazing. And I know that's like a long that has not necessarily to do with player of the month, right? This is all like sentimental stuff, but I think he has been playing very well in the few games that we have played in September. So I'd give it to Granit Xhaka, man. How about you?
Yeah, for sure. He's really done well this season. And in this month, it was only 3 games, but he did play all 3 of them.
Yeah.
As you said, he really stepped up. We've seen him. He's talking about like unofficial captain.
Yeah.
He had the chance to be captain as well because Odegaard was injured. But you've seen that even when he's not captain, he's really trying to be a leader on the pitch. You know, as one of the senior players, you can see you saw as well in the All or Nothing documentary that was showing last season that he was quite vocal.
Hmm.
Always trying to g up the players. And yeah, I think he's come back really well from that low point that he suffered. And this role seems to be suiting him a lot as well, where he's not having to worry too much about the defensive side of things, especially when Thomas Partey's in there. We've seen his ability going forwards. That assist for Jesus's goal was brilliant. And you've seen him more involved in our play. And he's got a very good left foot on him, and he's got the ability to pick out a pass, whether it's long distance, short distance. making assists and that we're seeing as well now. He's got a great shot on him as well. We've seen some great goals from him over time. So let's hope he goes from strength to strength and he's going to have a great season for us. So yeah, let's talk now about some of the other games this weekend. So we've got our massive derby. There's another big derby on the Sunday involving the two Manchester clubs in the Manchester derby. Manchester City are at home against Manchester United. Your thoughts on that one?
Oh boy, that's gonna be like so I don't know how to feel, man, because again, I'm still not convinced with Manchester United. Granted, they have been playing well ever since that big loss, but Erling Haaland, man, that guy's a beast. I don't know if you play fantasy football or whatever, but I'm playing
Yeah,
and I have Haaland on my team. And
for sure.
I'm considering like triple captaining man because who knows, man. Where are they playing? Are they playing
In
in
City,
city?
City's
Okay.
ground.
At the Etihad?
Yeah.
Um I don't think it's gonna be like the fans. I mean, they've kind of dominated United in the past few matchups, and they've only gotten better. And United have not looked like a team that could maybe challenge a team like United is. I mean, so I think it'll be close for a while, but I think Haaland takes over and scores two or three, and it ends up not being a very favorable scoreline for United. But yeah, I will say something like 3-0. Maybe they might sneak one in late, like a garbage time goal, and make it 3-1. But yeah, I think City is also going to be a team that's going to start stepping up. That you've seen them not kind of look their best early on, and I think they're going to start changing that up a little bit. And just because they are, they have that pedigree, man, and United doesn't yet. So yeah, we'll say 3-1. I'll be nice, United. Say they get a goal.
Okay. And then on the Saturday, some big games then as well. So another London derby is Crystal Palace versus Chelsea.
Oh, that's gonna be fun, man. Crystal Palace is a fun team to watch. Um, Chelsea, who knows, man? Finally, this international break, I feel is like been a good reset. It's going to be a good reset for a lot of teams, right, going into the month. We keep talking about Arsenal's congested fixture, but we're not going to be the only ones. I think maybe everybody in the top six, everybody playing in Europe, along with the Premier League, is going to have a ton of games this month. So Chelsea included. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see, their number nine and see if he actually steps up and starts scoring for them. I think that's their biggest challenge, Chelsea. Right, like they play pretty good defensively, but they're just not a threat to score. Um, Crystal Palace at home is going to be a very difficult task for anybody. Uh, I'm gonna probably pick a draw though. We'll go 2-2. Um, just because I don't think Chelsea will necessarily come out strong. I still think they're not you know, I guess a good team if you will. They might end up well being, but I don't think they're going to be great starting out this month. Not against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Crystal Palace, we know they're a really good team, especially at home. It's going to be a tricky game for Chelsea. Let's hope Palace can get the win there. And then another game we're going to talk to you about is Liverpool versus Brighton. So we know Liverpool have had a really shaky start. Do you see that continuing against Brighton? Brighton are a team that are difficult to play. We've seen them have some good results. They've lost their manager now, but still got a good squad there. What's your thoughts on that one?
Ooh, yeah. They lost their manager. I don't know if this is going to be their first game without him. I'm wondering. I the
I think
that.
because their game got postponed as well, didn't it? Their
Oh,
game postponed before the international break.
okay.
So
So
yeah,
the last one they played was a 5-2 win over Leicester, but that was with what's his name, Graham Potter. Yeah. So now he's no longer there. Going to be very interesting to see how they get on. But I mean, they're a good team, and I don't imagine them changing a lot up. I think that might be close, but I think a team like Liverpool I think they're gonna be able. They're playing at home, uh, so I think they end up getting the win. We'll say like 1-0. I don't think it's gonna be a very flashy, high scoring game, but I think they end up stealing a win 1-0, um, and then sets up a real big match against us the next week. So yeah, I think Liverpool's one of those teams again. I mentioned it last week how much I kind of admire them. So I think they're gonna figure it out. They started rough, but you can't really count them out yet until we play them, and then we just completely break their souls, right? So we'll see. Yeah, 1-0. We'll say 1-0 to Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go. They've got some players coming back from injury now. The key player as well that's come back for him is Diego Jota. We know
Uh,
how good a player that guy is. He scores a lot of goals against us,
yeah,
so
I
he's
hate him.
back with him. Yeah, like so yeah, that's going to make a difference for him as well. But yeah, let's see how they go. It's a massive week for us. So straight after the North London derby, we've got that Europa League game on the Thursday, and then on the Sunday, it's Liverpool. Huge game. If we can hopefully win all three of them games, oh, what a great start to October that would be. We can hopefully go on up until the international break now, continue our winning momentum, and go into that international break still top of the league.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, big month, huge, huge North London derby. Probably the biggest I can think about in a long time. In a long time. I mean, just in terms of maybe I guess I'll rephrase that and say this is the biggest one this early in the season that I've seen since I've become a fan, right? I mean, last year was massive because it was our chance to solidify top four. And even though we did lose it, I mean, it was still in our grasp, right? So this one right here is early on. Um, it feels really good to say that you not only are top of the league, but you're at the top of the league because you beat your rival. So this is gonna be huge, man. And like I said, I'm very nervous. I kind of want to just get it over with already. So I'm really glad that the game is gonna be extremely early for us because that means again it'll be over before I eat breakfast and I can go about my day and get over with. But yeah, man, even a draw, I wouldn't even be completely disappointed at. You know what I mean? I don't want to draw, obviously, but I just don't want to lose to these guys, man. And again, it sure they got 17 points, one behind us, but I just can't get over how I don't think they're that great. And if we lose to them, it's just going to be so irritating and disappointing and all the words you can think of. And I just want to beat their ass, man, so we can go about it and have some bragging rights until the rematch. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm excited. I just don't want to lose against these guys because as I've been saying all season, yeah, they're winning. Yeah, they've got some quality players, but I don't think their football is boring, and I just don't think they're that. I just don't think they're good. I don't think they're better than us, player for player. Maybe minus like Kane and Son, but like, and you just want it's like every rivalry game. You don't want to lose to your rival, um, especially with the stakes this high. You know what I mean? Um, Last year, at the first one, it was 10th place versus 13th place, and so it was still intense feeling going into it, but like there was a lot of the season where both of us were mid-table, and now it's like first place. Like being able to say you're top of the league because you beat your rival, God, that's got to feel good. And I don't want Tottenham fans to feel that way. I want us to feel that way. Um, yeah, and that's what it boils down to, man. I want us to remain in first place, and I want to remain in first place because we beat Tottenham. And I kind of want Conte to end up leaving and abandoning Tottenham, going to Juventus or some shit. Like, I want the worst things to happen to Tottenham, and I want it to start with a loss to us on Saturday, man. So I can't wait for it to happen. I want it to happen. I want the game. I'm glad the game's at 6:30 in the morning US time, because I can get it over with before I even eat breakfast, have some coffee with it, and then just hopefully enjoy the rest of my weekend because we beat their ass. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, man. Cannot wait.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. Just looking at our recent record with him, not even recent, like more on a long-term scale. It's going back to 2002, so 20 years, which is a long time. They've only actually beaten us once in the Premier League here at the Emirates. That was a 3-2 loss we had against them back in 2010. That's a really outstanding record for us to have. And I remember even before that, like during Wenger's days, we had a really good record with him. Back then, it was home and away. Our record, even at White Hart Lane back then, was really good. So confident, it's been, like I say, 2010 is the last time they've actually beat us here. So we've got to make sure that doesn't happen. As you said, you do not want to lose to your main rival, your local rivals at home. You don't want to lose them away, but at home, it cannot be happening. So come on, you Gunners, we got to do this. I'm confident we will. Let's get the win. Like I said earlier to you, let's get them 4 goals, like at least 4 goals, like the ladies and my under 18s did, and let's give them a good hiding. We've got to get revenge for that 3-0 as well. That was a really painful day for us all. That scoreline, I don't want to remember it, but we had some circumstances where a red card and things went against us. Got to get revenge for that. Come on, Arsenal.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, yeah, we just got to do it, man. I feel very confident in the guys. I feel a little bit better than before I came on and talked to you. I was a little nervous, but now I'm pretty confident. But yeah, we just got to do it, man. And this is a great opportunity. Like, this is what I guess you live for, I guess, as an athlete and as a fan, right? You want to see your team perform in the big games, and here's another opportunity to kind of put to bed the ghosts from previous years. You know what I'm saying? And very heartbreaking loss last year, and here's an opportunity to just move forward from that and keep the momentum going. So come on, Arsenal, let's get them.
Yeah, let's do this. Oh, that's all from us. Thanks, bro, for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure, man. Looking forward to speaking with you next week about whatever happens, and also on the day of reactions, man. I'll be a little groggy in the morning. I'm gonna have some coffee early on. I've already set my alarm and I've already planned my Friday to kind of take it easy so I can just have a good Saturday. So I'll be ready, man.
Cool, bro. Look forward to speaking to you on Saturday after our victory. So that's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.